Hi everyone, it's Mel here, and hello to all the new subscribers, and hello to all the people that subscribed a while ago. I know you're all from different places and spaces, and this video is about travel as a changing space. So the idea of changing spaces came to me when I was doing my masters a number of years ago. I was working out what title to give it, and I thought actually since while I was growing up, the idea of who are we, what's my background, what's my name, why don't I look like my name, uh, all of these questions sort of surrounded me as I was growing up. And my mum was Scottish and still had a very strong Scottish accent when I was growing up, even though she had me and my youngest brother in Manchester. The other brothers were born in Glasgow. And so it's been a constant in my life for a long time. And when I got to about 18, I left home and started working in the hotel industry. And so I moved about every 5 or 6 months for a different job. So I was constantly changing the spaces that I was in. And every space I went into, I was fascinated by the cultures of each of those spaces. So when I spent time down in Cornwall and Devon, I spent a lot of time on the beach with the surfing community. And when I was in Jersey, I spent a lot of time. There was a lot of millionaires who lived there, and we also spent a lot of time partying and going to clubs and exploring the island. And so it's my experience of those different spaces. And then the biggest shift was when I got married, and my partner, his family were from India, and he was born in the UK. And so now it was a very different experience of being married in a what we were calling mixed race marriage back then. And also it was the 80s. And so the whole idea of who are we, what's our name, what do we call our children, what is our religion, what has influenced all of that has been the fabric of my existence for a very long time. And I've revisited the idea of changing space, which is what I call my thesis, because I looked at how my experiences change according to where I end up, where I go and visit, what I go and explore. And on my Welsh trip, that came into the fore even more because I was really fascinated by the different places that I visited, the history of the place, the people who worked there, who owned the land, who owned the mansion, where the money came from, and about the workers, everyday people like me that were growing up and worked very hard on the docks and in the coal mines, and what happened when people stood up for fairer pay and wages. And and that has been a consistent really in society for a long time. And so they're the sort of deeper aspects of what I think about when I'm traveling through places. But when we travel, of course, it isn't about the destination, it's about the journey, isn't it? If we look at that program on BBC iPlayer at the moment of Race Around the World, it's fascinating. All the beautiful places that they go through is just awe-inspiring. And that's what I love. I love that feeling of just going around the bend of a mountain, and all of a sudden you see the vista of the ocean stretching for miles, and it can be really quiet, and the weather can be 1 minute really bright and beautiful, and the next minute it's absolutely pouring down. And I had that today actually, and how we feel in those different environments, and how how the energy affects us in different ways, and how much more alive I feel when I'm down by the coast. But also every place we step into, we're walking into an area that people have walked the path many times before, sometimes joyful, sometimes heavy. And every time we move, sometimes something shifts inside of us. And some of us are more aware of that than others, and what the memory is actually held, the resonance within the land. Because a lot of the land we walk over is sacred land without realizing it, and also burial mounds and places that haven't been discovered yet by archaeologists. But we can sometimes feel those shifts. And so not all of the shifts that we experience inside ourselves is related to us. It's when we're moving through those different places. So that's why I'm starting on this new journey of changing spaces through the lens and looking through the lens in different way, through the spiritual lens, the psychology lens, through the history lens, legacy lens, all of the different ways that we look through, and even the lens of like my glasses that help me see better. Because whether it's the simplicity of a van, or the richness of a castle and land, or the silence in the rain, we see differently through these different lenses, and it's beautiful to capture that. And I love when people capture the lady that I met recently on my trip to Wales when I was at Freshwater West, the artist Liz, who was capturing the scenes, and every 5 or 10 minutes the scene was changing, and she was capturing that in her painting, and it's just beautiful to witness. So on this trip I'll be filming maybe every day, maybe every few days, I've no idea, and listening to the land and hopefully uploading that and sharing some of the stories and the things that I uncover. And it'll be fascinating because I remember when my mum used to get really excited when she discovered that one of the stores was selling some of the food that she loved and that she grew up with when she lived in Scotland, whether that was getting a drink. And I remember that feeling when I came down to London, that I couldn't get hold of certain things, and things didn't taste the same. And so I remember that joy of watching her getting really excited of just those little moments. It's those things that are really important to us, and how travel shapes us and what happens to us when we travel. And often, and I've had a few clients that have traveled extensively, and actually have worked with them while they've been traveling all through different parts of the world. And you never know when you travel. You buy your ticket, get on the plane, and you never know what that journey is going to be like, whether it's a smooth ride and you get there and you get to the hotel, or there are challenges on the way and things don't work out, or your trip changes. And my trip changes quite a lot when I'm on the road, because sometimes I'll have an idea about going to a particular place and spending some time there, and then I get there and I think this just feels different. I don't know what it is. So yeah, travel with me. It begins tomorrow when it's our first stop in London, and I can't wait to take you all with me and see what unfolds. And hopefully the phone works and the video isn't too shaky and the quality's okay. It's all a bit raw. I don't really edit the videos. There's a lot of work actually. It goes on behind the scenes of just shooting a video, uploading it, and putting it onto YouTube. But a lot of them are rarely edited. Occasionally, I have a habit with my phone of recording my feet as I'm walking down the road. So I've had to edit a few of those, but I look forward from getting any comments. Let me know what you liked about the video, and what you'd like to see more of. And I can't wait to share more of that with you.